Hello everybody, welcome back, and I'm TheChornick, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about Fallout 76 and its whole trader-vendor system. Alright, this is my advice for what you should set your prices at. So, again, you guys could post in the comment section below if you guys want to give your own opinions, your own recommendations for what prices. Maybe there's certain things that you've been selling things at that have been working for you, so please post in the comment section below. Maybe some advice you could give other people about what to sell, what things maybe you're looking for generally that could give people some ideas about what they should be selling, especially maybe to like higher level players. So anyway, let's get right into it. So first off, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about ammo. So ballistic ammo, I recommend that you only put one cap on it, okay, because it's generally easier to find. As for ammo that's harder, like energy weapon ammo, maybe some like, not fusion cells. Fusion cells are pretty easy to find, so I'd say one cap on that also. But for, say, like the EC cartridges or the plasma cartridges, put 2 caps on those. Maybe even the railroad rifles, put 2 caps. Don't go over 3 in regards to those. Like, for anything that's not ballistic or fusion cell, put 2 to 3 caps on it. And for any ballistic, put 1 cap. Now the most requested, I guess, the most popular kinds of ammos are .45. A lot of people go for 5.56 and shotgun shells. Those are the ones that sell at my camp all the time. So those are what I recommend for ballistic ammo that you sell. Now for like anything else like .38, like get rid of that. Get that out of here. Like, I'm sorry, just like drop it or sell it for free because no one's gonna buy .38. That's like the most easiest ammo to find. Might as well just ditch it. Might as well just drop it, especially for higher level players. Like they're not gonna touch that. So might as well just sell it for 0 caps or just drop it, just delete it. You know, free up your inventory, free up your stash space. Okay. So, in regards to that, if certain ammunition isn't selling for you, then probably just give it to your friends or just give it away for free. But you wanna try to gain some caps, you know, some money out of that ammo that you found. So, especially ammo like 5.56 and shotgun shells and even fusion cells, or the 3 I think biggest ones that sell for me the most. Is those 3. They I also sell plasma cartridges. Anything that's rare, more rare to find. EC cartridges, like all those stuff are pretty good to sell as well. Even alien blasters, alien ammo. That stuff is pretty good to sell as well. Now, as for guns and armor, generally, if it isn't a legendary, don't bother with it. Just scrap it or just sell it to a vendor. Like, or one of like the in-game vendors, right? One of the AI robots. So you want to sell it to one of them, or just scrap it. And if it's a legendary, then maybe you could sell it, because some people will buy it just for the script. Honestly, they'll buy it if it's pretty cheap. I would only, I mean, depending on the level of it, like 1, 2, or 3 star, I would put, you know, price it even higher if it's a larger legendary. So maybe like 100 or 200 for a 1-star legendary, maybe a few hundred for a 2-star, and then probably near just under 1,000, maybe just a higher hundreds for a 3-star weapon. Especially if they're really good legendary effects. I know 2-shots are generally some of the legendary effects that are sought after, so you could price those a bit higher. You could price explosive, like the explosive ammunition, price that a bit higher, especially the 2-shot explosive legendary. That double effect is like the most rare and the most powerful, I think, in the game out of all the like the legendary effects that you can have for your weapons. So those you could sell for a lot, because that's actually really rare. If you have that double effect, and sell it for pretty high up there. Now, in regards to armor, like if it reduces damage or scorched or against other players, especially like assassin armor, like that stuff for PvP purposes, that stuff's pretty valuable, so you could generally price those up pretty higher. So that's as far as it goes in regards to legendaries. Don't sell anything that's not a legendary. Like, just might as well just sell it to like the normal robot vendors, or just scrap it, drop it, you know, get rid of it. You know, free up that space in your stash. Because some people will just buy legendaries just for the script, others will buy it because they like the legendary effect. I'm talking about, yeah, like the 2-shot or explosive, or, you know, the assassin's armor and stuff like that. Like anything that reduces damage is pretty nice and pretty OP. anything that maybe increases weight capacity. I know power armor with or something calibrated shocks. Yeah, you want to use that. Maybe sell that, because I know that's a pretty rare mod, a pretty rare plan. If you could sell the plans, sell it for what they're worth. Generally, if it's a plan that's found pretty easily, or a plan that's, you know, really low in regards to money, like it's just not that rare, or it's just not that expensive, then maybe you want to drop it, or just give it to friends, or sell it, or whatever. You could sell it for pretty low. And generally, I would sell plans for either what they're worth, if they're generally less, because some people will like deals and they'd rather go to a vendor who's selling it for less than going to a robot who's selling it for like 6,000. You know what I mean? Some of these plans are ridiculous in their prices from these like robots. I mean, if you don't have a high charisma, you're talking like 5,000, 6,000 caps, right, for just one freaking plan. So if you have a plan in your inventory that you picked up from a Scorch Beast or whatever, let's say like a T60 jetpack, right, that you pick up from the Scorch Beast Queen. Well, some players aren't able to have the ability to go fight the Scorch Beast Queen, so you could place jetpacks or anything that's like rare, I guess you could say, in your shop, and place them at pretty low prices. I'm talking like 2,000 to 2,500. Also keep in mind about like how much caps that you generally carry around, and think about how many caps that other people think that people will be willing to pay for certain things. Like, what would you pay for? Like, if you didn't have this plan yet and you wanted this plan, what would you be satisfied with that zone where you'll be willing to buy it? Yeah, it's a little pricey, but you're willing to buy it. Try to get it around there, so you could be making the most out of your book for your from your customers and all that. So with that being said, that's for plans. So generally in plans, you want to sell it for generally lower than it's worth, because you still be gaining a lot of money. And for stuff that sells like at 6,000, 5,000, 6,000, sell it for half that price, because some people are going to be pretty happy that they could get it off of you without having to spend 6,000 freaking caps. Instead, they could spend 2,000 or 3,000, and you're still gaining a couple thousand caps. I mean, yeah, you're like, oh, well, this plan's worth, this many caps. Well, okay, but you're still, you don't need that plan. You've already learned that plan. Might as well just sell it for just, you're just lucky by finding an extra plan of it. Either give it to a friend or sell it for a few thousand. But you don't want to price it up too high, because people aren't going to buy it from you if it's too high priced, is what I'm saying. Now let's talk about, say, something else that I think is extremely valuable, and what people like buying a lot as well, is the serums. The mutations. People love those, and people sell those a crap ton. When I ever go to a vendor, I always look for legendary weapons like that have the 2-shot explosive capabilities, or I try to look for mutations. So generally, if you have the plans to make mutations, like especially the marsupial serum serum is by far like the most popular, get it. Get it, make it, sell it. I mean, like, you can make a few hundred caps off of each serum, because it's a lot cheaper than going and buying like several thousand caps worth of serums in the Enclave bunker, when you could just be going around to vendors and buying it for a few hundred, right? So players will love you if you're selling it for a few hundred and you have that plan where you could just like be making bank out of selling serums, especially the marsupial serum. Everybody wants the marsupial serum because it just gives them that higher jump and increased carry weight. So that's the one I recommend you sell. In regards to location, the most frequent location for you to get the most customers would be around the White Springs Resort area or top of the world. Alright, so these like Savage Divide areas are pretty much where you want to place your camps. Those are the most active. They're like the hub of the world, essentially. So if you want a lot of customers to come by your camp, then which will probably improve sales, because even if you have like bad pricing, or say you don't have very good items, at least you have a lot of customers coming by that likely one of them will buy something that's in your store, just for the fact that they're there, right? So, and they'll probably be nice and buy something. Maybe it's ammo or whatever. But you want to be around Top of the World or White Springs if you really care about your shop, you know, really care about people buying stuff and you gaining those caps, right? If you really care. Now, these are really highly populated areas, though, obviously for this reason, and so you'll likely have a trouble finding a server where you could place your camp down on. So that is kind of a tedious aspect of it, but if you have your camp around those areas, you generally will have a bigger influx of customers. Now, if you place your camp around, say, the Ash Heap, or say the Mire, or Toxic Valley, or, you know, the Cranberry Bog, those are high-level areas, and you generally won't have many people showing up there. Those are on the edges of the world, and not many people will look there or want to travel there and spend the caps to travel to your camps there without, well, just looking for camps to buy, right? So unless they're stumbling upon them. So generally, placing those camps on the outskirts of the map are generally a bad idea in regards to number of customers that will come by your camp. Whereas if you place them, say, around White Springs or in the middle of a map, then more people would likely come across your camp one way or another, either traveling there or just, you know, jumping from shop to shop, which are all pretty much nearby in White Springs or Top of the World or the Savage Divide. So in regards to location, that's my opinion. In regards to like resources, lead, if you really aren't using lead, that stuff is like extremely valuable. Like any resource that is extremely hard to find generally, like that you just can't find anywhere, like you generally, like crystal and lead, and you like that stuff you just want to sell like in bulk and sell it for a moderate price. So as like maybe a cap per piece of that lead, right? So like one lead would be like one cap, right? Or one crystal would be one cap. One nuclear, you know, waste would be one cap. So price, but if you have like a bulk and it's like, then sell it for 10 caps for that bulk. So one cap per each of those. Unless you could sell it for more at a vendor, then you can maybe scale the price a little bit up if you want to make more money than just selling it to a robot. But generally for resources, yeah, like a cap per piece. Only sell like really extremely rare resources and resources that are used a lot, like lead, to make ammunition, because lead is valuable. Okay, so anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening. Again, post in the comment section below your recommendations, as well as things that you guys are maybe looking for to help people out by what they should be selling. Subscribe if you haven't. I love your faces, and peace off. Thank you very much.